taking all of the spots, I'm gone. Telling me that you got a different engine, couldn't find this in a lot, I don't stop. Making sure I'm in top form, gotta be the norm, too late. If you're looking for me, I'm gone.
Alberta on night 3 of the World Juniors for what became the only game of the day, Canada versus Austria. On paper, as lopsided a matchup as you can have at this tournament. Canada with 18 golds all time. Austria only in this tournament for the 5th time ever. That's Connor Bedard's family. A lot of family members inside to watch Canada look for its 2nd straight victory at this tournament. As we say hello, Canada, and welcome to night 3 of the 2022 World Juniors. James Duffy alongside Bob McKenzie. Jeff O'Neill will join us in just a second. We all knew this tournament would be a delicate dance around the Omicron variant, and even with the teams in a virtual bubble and daily testing, the first significant impact today as the Americans were forced to forfeit their game against Switzerland after 2 positive tests. Now, Bob, take us through the events of the last 18 hours or so for the Americans.
Yeah, it's a developing story. Late last night, Team USA was informed that one of their goaltenders had tested positive. A few hours after that, overnight, Team USA was informed there was a 2nd positive test, this one for a forward, a skater. Now, what the protocol called for, immediately this morning, everybody was isolated. So the 2 players who tested positive and their 2 roommates were
they were in separate rooms.
They had roommates, and then they were put into separate rooms, 4 separate rooms. The rest of Team USA was quarantined in their rooms, so 2 to a room, quarantined, and there was a testing process that was done this morning. The test results won't come back until later tonight or overnight. What happens if there's another positive test? We'll get into that in a minute. But there was another test that will happen tomorrow morning. And the results of that will be expedited, so they'll be available before 4 p.m. tomorrow, which is game day for Team USA, supposed game day, playing against Team Sweden. If they get negative tests across the board, outside of obviously those that tested positive already, then the U.S. players can come out of quarantine. You need 2 negative tests in a 24-hour period to come out of quarantine and play that game against Sweden tomorrow night. That's how that would happen. Now, if there's positive tests, all bets are off.
Well, let's look at all the remaining games in the tournament, and both sides, Group A here in Edmonton, Group B in Red Deer, and we've highlighted the American games again tomorrow against Sweden and then New Year's Eve against Russia. But as you were saying, let's say there's another positive test in these 2 tests overnight from within the team. Is it fair to say their tournament's in jeopardy?
You could make that case, but it's a little premature. And the reason it's premature is because if there are more positive tests, the IIHF Medical Committee, it's an 8-person medical committee, mostly doctors on it. They would look at those tests and determine what the risk assessment is, what the threat assessment is, not only for Team USA, but if they were to play a game against Team Sweden. For example, a positive test for one of the roommates who already tested positive would be viewed as a better news situation for Team USA than if it's a positive test for somebody who wasn't in a room with one of those players, because they isolated those two positives immediately, those 4, and therefore not all positive tests are created equally. So it's really a hazardous game to try and predict what the medical committee would say or do, but everybody's kind of holding their breath waiting to see what's going to happen with Team USA.
It's a lot of information. The 2 positive tests were in different rooms, so the 2 of them and their 2 roommates have both been isolated. Now, the good news is no other positive tests with the other teams in this tournament, but we know how Omicron works. If we get another team or another 2 teams impacted, how many teams can you complete this tournament with?
The IIHF rule to the letter of the law is in order for it to be a world championship, you need 8 teams to finish the tournament. So 10-team tournament, if you lose 2 along the way and if you get 8 teams to the quarterfinals, then you're okay. Then you're okay. If you don't get 8 teams, then what the IIHF would, if we lose, say, the Americans and 1 more team, and then on the morning of the quarterfinals, there's 1 positive test on 1 team that would force a quarantine and postponement or cancellation of the quarterfinal game, well, then you'd be down to 7. It'll be up to the IIHF to decide, do we follow our rules to the letter of the law, or do we make an adjustment on the fly?
As for the Americans, that opening victory over Slovakia may turn out to be crucial if it's a situation where they do have to forfeit at least 1 more game but are allowed to continue into the quarterfinals. And look, there's a lot more important stuff going on right now, but if the U.S. had to forfeit 1 or 2 more games but made the quarters, it could mean a quarterfinal matchup against Team Canada. We will continue to update you throughout the evening as we get more information. But for now, Canada has a game to play tonight against Austria, a team it has only faced once at the World Juniors since back in 1981. Long time ago, more on that ahead. 1981, when Mark Masters was just a glint in the eyes of, well, all of us, frankly, because we all feel with the parents of Mark Masters. Mark, a new goalie for Canada tonight.
Yeah, James, Brett Brochu has passed over in the last 2 NHL drafts, but tonight the London Knights goalie is in the spotlight. He just led Team Canada onto the ice, and he is set for his national team debut. Pretty special for a guy who was playing junior C hockey just a few years ago. Now, Canada is down a couple of forwards tonight. Oilers prospect Xavier Bourgault dealing with an undisclosed injury. Justin Surtiff, meanwhile, is serving a 1-game suspension. This is the 3rd straight World Juniors we've seen a Canadian player get suspended. So they're down to just 12 forwards, and they're shuffling all 4 of their forward lines. Most notably, Logan Stankoven, who was a healthy scratch on Sunday in the opener, draws in and moves all the way up to the Mason McTavish line with Kent Johnson. I asked the Kamloops Blazer spark plug what he was feeling this morning, and he said pure excitement. James, with the 2 absences up front, Canada will dress all 8 of their defensemen tonight.
Good stuff, Mark. We're so used to NHL teams favoring tall goalies that it may come as a surprise in this tournament. 9 of the 30 goalies are 6 feet or shorter. In fact, there are more 5'11" goalies than any other height. Brett Brochu, 1 of 8 5'11" goalies in the tournament. But it does explain perhaps why he goes unpicked. Bob McKenzie in 2 straight drafts. Jeff O'Neill has joined us as well. Why Brochu getting the start over 6'7" Sebastian Cossa? And how would you expect the goalie rotation to work after this game?
Well, such small sample sizes, but Cossa got in a pre-tournament game. Brochu didn't get in one. He was effectively number 3. Sebastian Cossa led in 3 goals on 11 shots in just a half a game against the Russians, and they've decided that Brochu's going to get this opportunity, and Kossa's the number 3 guy. Talked to Mark Hunter, the general manager of the London Knights. He says, yeah, you know what, he's 5'11", but don't bet against him on being an NHL goaltender. And Mark Hunter also suggested there's lots of 5'11" goalies in the NHL. They just list themselves as 6 feet or 6'1". But in any case, he thinks he's a special guy with a great battling ability, great intangibles. He'll get his opportunity tonight. But if Team Canada has their way, it will be his only appearance, because Dylan Garand, who gave up 3 goals on 7 shots in the first period against the Czechia. Almost got Czech Republic there.
Fine.
Exactly. In any case, they want Garand to be the number 1 guy. He's projected to be the number 1 guy. And if he can run the table after this, Canada would certainly like that.
And heck, Devin Levi showed that height isn't everything last year. He was only 6 feet, says the 5'10" guy, and was brilliant, the best goaltender in the entire tournament. Cole Perfetti is having a year. He gets silver at the last World Juniors, then plays on Canada's men's team at the World Championship, wins gold, and 3 assists in the opener of this tournament. What did you see in his game you liked?
James, Cole Perfetti's not going to run you over. He doesn't have blazing speed, but what I like about him, he's got hockey sense, and he makes plays, and he's always around the net, and that's going to be his job in the NHL, to be a power play guy, to create and to get points, and that's what he did in the opening game. You watch this play, simple little play, 5-on-3. He's the guy that tosses it over to power. That's some standard stuff from Perfetti. And as the play continues, you see him crash the net here. I kind of like this play. This is like running over the goaltender, but it's being a factor offensively. Goes back to power. He might have tipped that one. These are the plays that are special, though, for Petty. Backhand sauce plays that not everybody on the team could do, and that's what separates himself from the rest of his teammates. And this one's real good. 4 defenders for the checks right there. Finds the open guy. Backhand sauce again. He really made some plays in the first game.
Oldest guy in this tournament, and looks like that so far, the way he's played. Owen Power played with Perfetti on that World Championship team and was an absolute star playing with veteran NHLers. Could he have what Bob would be a somewhat miraculous pre-NHL hat trick and play in the World Championships, play in the World Juniors, and play in the Olympics before the NHL?
Absolutely. Now, Hockey Canada hasn't unveiled all its post-NHLers not going to the Olympics plan in terms of how they're going to approach things. But how could you not have Owen Power on the team if he wanted to play, if the University of Michigan would release him? I mean, he proved at the World Championships that he can play against the best players in the world in the National Hockey League. He proved here he was a man amongst boys on opening day. So, yeah, he's in line for an invitation. Whether he ends up there remains to be seen on a lot of fronts.
His hat trick, 3 of the 5 goals the D's scored. They only scored 6 the entire tournament last year. But do you have concerns about their defensive play?
Yeah, they can join the rush, James. They can score goals. But the defense part of the defenseman, they got to work at it. They got to stop the gap control in the neutral zone, allowing the skilled players too much ice in the offensive zone to create. You're going to see, you want the D to challenge here for Canada. Look how much ice they're giving up there. That's the dots where they finally engage. And that one ends up on the back of the net. Same play. The checks are coming through the neutral zone. Right about here, you want to challenge, force a dump in, strip the puck, but they back in, Once again, at the dots, they engage. They're probably going to blame the forwards. The forwards are going to blame the D, but they got to figure it out and stop that.
Let's hope nobody's blaming anybody right now at 1-0 in the tournament about to take on Austria. Up next, Mark Masters. In case you missed it on our World Junior preview show, it's something special. He goes caroling with Caden Gooley.
I don't know the lyrics.
Well, then that's a problem. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. You're doing well so far. How lovely are your branches.
TSN World Juniors pregame is brought to you by Jane's. When the game is ready to go, make sure you are too. Jane's, always game time ready.
Being part of a team is one of the best feelings. Also, like that feeling of adrenaline you get right before the puck drop. A lot of people would ask me, like, why would you want to be a goalie? Like, that's so much pressure. But I think there comes a point, like, it's just so much fun and you crave that feeling of being the last line of defense for your teams. I'm from the prairies. My hometown is Brandon and it's called the Wheat City, so I always put a lot of wheat on my mask. It's an honor to be a part of it. To be recognized is just incredible.
Jane's is all in on growing the game together.
That is awesome, and the Canadian goaltenders will be wearing masks in certain games in this tournament with Kristen and other Canadian women's hockey players on them. Look, this hasn't been an easy holiday season for all Canadians. Omicron and the restrictions because of it, it's just tough. So we thought we'd bring you a little levity and cheer tonight. Our Mark Masters, who frankly is as lovable as Buddy the Elf, went caroling and found a perfect sidekick.
Covering the World Juniors is all about spreading holiday cheer, and one of the big ways of doing that is through the power of song, be it a goal song or a carol. And this year we've recruited an expert to help. Edmonton Oil Kings defenseman Caden Gooley. Caden, what is your singing background?
Well, back in the day, I used to do Grand Parade Boys Choir from kindergarten to grade 2, so I know a thing or two about singing.
Singing and hockey are two passions, you would say?
Absolutely.
You ready to spread some cheer?
Absolutely.
Let's go. We're spreading World Junior cheer by singing some carols. Would you be willing to sing a carol with Caden and I?
Yeah.
Good tidings to you and all of your kid. Come on, kid. Good tidings for Christmas and a happy new year. Do you want a prize? James Duffy picture. We couldn't afford the signature. Are you a Duffy fan?
I'll keep that above my bed and think about it. And think about this moment every night.
We do need that back though.
Hey, Justin.
Caden Gooley and I are spreading holiday cheer. Will you sing a carol with us?
Yeah, I will.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Awesome.
Good job.
Talking to third graphic. Wait, do you want a
You
prize?
get a prize.
Oh, I get a prize?
Yes. Are you familiar with the Cabbage Patch Christmas?
Uh,
La 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 la.
I'd like to hear Shane sing.
Thumpity thump thump thumpity thump thump, look at Frosty go. Thumpity thump thump thumpity thump thump over the hills of
How
snow.
long is this? Kaden, what do you think? Exceptional player, but exceptional singer?
Pretty solid singer.
But exceptional.
No.
No, sorry. Probably not. But we do have a prize for you.
Yes, we do.
Do you know TSN producer Jeff Kamada? Of course you do. It's not even worth asking. Hold that up there. Let's see that.
Look at that.
There you go. He's a legend, actually.
Gotta hang that in the room
there
when I
you
get
go.
home.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. You know, Kaden has a background in singing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Used to be in boys choir.
I can tell.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens,
2 turtle doves.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Oh, man,
that was awesome. We gotta stop.
We
We
did
gotta
not
stop there.
coordinate
We gotta
that.
stop there.
3 French hens. French aren't even in the World Juniors. Does he deserve a prize?
Yes.
Do you know the TSN Director of Scouting?
I do.
Craig Button.
Awesome.
There you go. Hold that up. Look at that. Director of Scouting and Fashion for TSN. Anyone coming?
Hey, guys. Well, we can get a big carol going right now.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
You guys mind if we do my favorite World Junior carol? Hey, hey, baby. Ooh, I want to know if I'll be my girl. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Ole, 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 ole. Ole, ole.
Hey, Sebastian.
Oh, Kaden.
Hey, and Mark Masters, do you want to sing some Christmas carols with us to spread World Junior cheer?
Might as well.
We're going to do Oh Christmas Tree. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, no, you can't look. You ready? We're going to cue you.
Yeah, you're not allowed to look.
I can't. I don't know the lyrics.
Well, then that's a problem. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. Do them all so far. How lovely are your branches.
That's pretty good.
Does he deserve a prize for that?
No.
I should.
Your mic
Why?
also isn't plugged into anything.
You let me worry about the technical side, okay? Who is this guy? Dashing through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go. Laughing all the way. Ha, 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 ha. Bells on hotel ring.
Okay, you deserve a prize now.
All right, let's give him a prize. Here you go.
There you go.
Signed Mark Masters picture.
Wow.
That's pretty special.
It's valuable.
I don't want to see that on eBay. We got to go. Sorry,
see ya.
Sebastian. Good stuff.
Thanks.
Treasure that forever.
I
Goodbye.
will. Thanks. Great. Thanks. Thanks, Mark. Really appreciate it.
An autograph master is almost as priceless as a gold medal. We will not ask Owen Power to carol again, but we will beam him up and chat with Canada's Game 1 hero next.
TSN's World Juniors pregame is brought to you by the 2022 Chevrolet Silverado, the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Chevrolet, find new roads.
TSN World Juniors pregame is brought to you by Jane's. When the game is ready to go, make sure you are too. Jane's, always game time ready.
Time now for the World Juniors high performance fueled by Gatorade.
Allen kept that in, and now a long shot, they score, but the point is Power, and Canada's drawn back within the goal. Across the Power, high shot, scores! Owen Power, power play goal, and Canada is back on top. Bouncing puck in front, McTavish backs the back, and they score! Power again.
Well, how's your first game in the World Junior Tournament going, Owen Power?
The World Juniors high performance fueled by Gatorade. What a game for Owen Power in Canada's opener here at the tournament. So let's beam him up from downstairs and bring in the Canadian defenseman. Your phone must have just blown up, Owen, after that hat trick in game 1. Apart from the obvious, your family, who was the most interesting person you heard from after that game?
I don't know. I got a pretty big family, so I think pretty much everyone kind of reached out to me. So
any of the Sabres or any NHL guys?
Not really, no. So it's just all just family and friends, I'd say.
Oh, and you've always been comfortable and confident, maybe taking a path a little less traveled. Why was it right for you to make the decision to not play in the NHL when you could have been playing there if you wanted to this year, and to come back to Michigan and be here for the World Juniors?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that went into it. I think for me, when I was looking, I thought either way was a good choice. I didn't think there was really a bad choice, but I think just kind of getting that true college year with it being back to normal pretty much in Michigan, and then obviously just another year of development to kind of get myself prepared to make the jump.
Your Michigan teammates call you the big dog, so we thought it would be fitting if the O-Dog talked to the big dog.
Oh, and you're out there chewing gum. You look so relaxed. Most hockey players are so nervous about there. Is that how you've always been? You look so calm and collected, poised with the puck, and just very relaxed out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always kind of been someone who's pretty laid back. I think even off the ice, I'm like that too. So I think it's just always something that I've had.
Canadian captain Caden Gooley has announced the starting lineup in the dressing room for the first couple of games, the pre-tournament game and the first one. I know that's always a big role. Give me a sense of his style when he does that.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good at it. It's pretty quick. Just gets the point real quick. So I think it's good. I think it creates good energy, and I think he's done a good job with it.
That hat trick, you said you're first in your life, and I think a lot of people had trouble believing that. Are we going all the way back to novice? Adam, you never had one?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably when I maybe first started playing, I don't know what it's called, Tyke, probably had one. But ever since I think like organized, like rep hockey, I've never had one.
It's amazing. Congratulations and best of luck tonight. We appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, thank you.
That is Owen Power. Hasn't played an NHL game yet and already has a World Championship gold medal for Canada, playing with men last year and going for a World Junior gold medal this time. Let's have a look at the lineup, which of course features Owen Power on D. Changes up front, as Mark Masters mentioned. Xavier Bourgault out after an injury. Justin Surdiff serving a one-game suspension for a head hit. So Logan Stankoven joins Kent Johnson and Mason McTavish on the second line. Dylan Gunther reunited with Edmonton Oil King teammate Jake Neighbors on the third line, and Connor Bedard, you can see, starts on the fourth line tonight. Let's bring in Ray Ferraro, half of our team, calling the game tonight with Gord Miller. Shane Wright had a quiet game against Czechia on Boxing Day, has been moved to the wing so far. What would you like to see from the presumptive #1 overall pick in 2022 tonight?
I'd like to see him relax, James, because he looked like a nervous player to me. He looked like somebody that was thinking his way around the ice instead of reacting. And when you start to think, you lose all your pace. You just don't play the game up or back with any pace. So they move him out to the wing with Maverick Bourque, and Bourque's got a pretty high engine, and he's going to run the show through the middle of the ice. I think it frees up Shane Wright to play without the pressure of trying to be the low guy defensively all the time. He can get in on the forecheck. I think the more Shane Wright relaxes, the better he will play. Hey, go back to Nathan McKinnon when he was before his draft year playing in this tournament, and he looked like a peewee player. He looked nervous. He looked scared. He looked scared to initiate anything. And then a few short years later, we're looking at this runaway train in the National Hockey League. Shane Wright's gonna be fine, but the more he relaxes, I think the more energy he'll find.
Gordon Ray on the call just a few minutes from now. As for the opponent, Austria tonight, yes, they're massive underdogs, but they've had good players over the years. Only 3 Austrians have been taken in the first round of the NHL draft. Thomas Vanek, Marco Rossi, and Michael Grabner. Marco Kasper has a chance to join them. He is among the best draft-eligible players in this tournament. And here are your Group A standings, still very early in the tournament. The Finns with 2 victories already, so Canada can match them on top of Group A with a victory tonight. Of course, Germany with a little bit of an upset in a thriller last night, beating Czechia in overtime. Austria will have to pull off some sort of upset somewhere along the way to make the quarterfinal. But remember, their goal here was to not get relegated. They won't, because no one is getting relegated for the tournament next year. Canadian fans, again, up to 50% capacity allowed for these games, and getting set for Canada versus Austria at the World Juniors next.